coming back.
Oh, did you want a cookie? Did you want a cookie? Hazel, baby. Is a cookie for you? Oh, okay. We'll see you later.
Yeah. The safety of the other side of the room.
I'm going back to my bed. Yeah.
All right, well, we're 10 minutes into stuff we can't talk about. Which is not uncommon.
Right.
Sometimes it bleeds in the middle of the show.
Right.
We won't make that mistake. I just need to make a clean break
Yes.
so we can talk moving forward. We have, look,
You can even turn it off and turn it back on.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier. I know. It could be a short show or it could be a longer show. I don't know. We have a couple things. I have not seen Andrew on this show.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks since we sat at the kitchen table.
Yeah, and we're back. Today is Wednesday, March 5th.
That's right. Yeah.
And I would have expected by now to understand the Senate vote for the hemp bill. It was on the board and then it was off the board. Strategically, the sponsor said, "Hey, I got 2 absences. That's 2 votes of yes, and so I don't want to risk it." So they're going to kick the can down the road. Well, as you know, anything can happen.
Right. They could go on today.
It's going to go on today, but another mix of people might be out, or it's another day where yeses could be nos or whatever.
Everyone's coming off the high of the State of the Union last night.
I missed that. I was at a concert. I was at Jillian. I understand now. It's Gillian Welsh, not Jillian. I've been pronouncing the G with the soft J sound or whatever. It's the whole GIF. Gillian Welsh and David Rollins, and it was a great concert. I don't know if you know anything about that. People, if you know, like the washwoman scene, the sirens in "Oh Brother Where Art Thou," there's an a cappella song, and that's like her original
breakout hit,
I guess, and writes songs for other people. Anyway, I was at that. I didn't get to watch the State of the Union. I sometimes do. I don't have any real desire to today, but I also went to the Democratic Leadership Conference, which is a fundraiser. It was at the Deuce. I got to drink Santan Amber. I could have had a Hams.
Could have had a Hams.
I talked to a couple of senators. I, in particular, did not lobby one of them because I'm just tired of lobbying for that bill. The votes are where they are. We're on a team, and there are some team members that like to use their brute force lobbying tactics, and that's not what I'm at. I have talked to these people. They understand our point. They either agree or disagree. There's no point in me throwing around weight I don't have. So, so that's but the opposition people from the very large breweries were there, and they were talking their game.
Can you say this again? The opposition people from very large breweries.
Yes,
we're at the Democratic.
Yeah,
caucus.
one of my senators like, "Oh yeah, those guys are lobbying really hard." I'm like, "Well, you should listen to them," but none of their arguments are make any sense. Having it unregulated in the same places where we sell our products allows that product to basically pay for slotting, which we can't do, so it's unfair. And they don't even acknowledge that, and they were never a part of the process. They were invited to the process. They thought they were dealt out of the process. Nobody deals those guys out. No one's just like, no, you have no role in this. because even if you have something they're going to hate, you at least run it by them, and they have an opportunity to discuss. There was no discussion. They just want to kill this bill. They have no interest in fixing
The broken system.
Yes, right.
I don't understand why. Why would they not want it fixed?
Status quo. They probably see the inevitable anyway, and whatever is coming out doesn't really fit their model right now, and so they need time to before the heavy distribution machinery gets involved. They want some time to figure it out. And in the back channel, they are lobbying hard to get it banned at the federal level. That's the easier play for them. What they don't know is there's a theory that even if it was federally banned at this point, the state could continue to keep it legal. However, no products in or out, and including someone would have to grow the hemp in state.
Right. Yeah.
It'd have to be a closed system, which doesn't actually hurt us at all.
Right.
It will. Yeah, well, it does. In the short term, there's supply chain and complications with that. But yeah. Anyway, so that was going on last night, and
what are the numbers looking like for the bill?
well, we need 20 yeses. If it's a straight party vote, we'll get 17. So and Republican. I mean, it's a Republican sponsor. So I don't know. Depending who's there, there was two people we didn't know. I don't know. Like we'll probably lose 5 to 7 votes out of 30.
So that's the Senate bill, and
Yeah.
then it goes to the House. And is there any temperature on what the House is looking at right now?
It's going to be more challenging. There are more people who are familiar with the tax issue. We basically traded. We dealt distilled spirits a tax break that they wanted. It may not be all that they wanted, but that's the nature of these kinds of things. And then we increased the hemp tax to replace it. So it's not a inexpensive tax. I'll say that. I'm hoping that just the raw ingredients cost is going to be so low that maybe it'll still be a benefit. But the nothing, unless you get this big bill passed, all the details are going to get worked out over time. And I know that's not, warm comfort to somebody who is relying on this as a business model moving forward, but that's just the way it is. Like, you're in a regulated industry, and we're trying to put this into the regulation side only because there's no other structure. And I mean, in terms of enforcement, we don't want unregulated places manufacturing and selling this product, because that is definitely a competition with people who hold licenses right now, and that's everybody in our industry. We need some of the business rules, and our constituency is much stronger than anyone else who is trying to cobble this together, because we have relationships over a long time, and we understand. We meet regularly, and I know the distributors talk to each other all the time about trade practice stuff, because they want the playing field as level as possible, even though it slightly skews in their direction.
Right.
But we can respect that, because that's the game that we inherited. So,
So when you say that you had to give some tax breaks to RTDs, that's because a bill that increases taxes needs a supermajority, correct?
That's correct.
So the idea is we are balancing this to be a zero-sum tax
Right.
bill,
Right.
and therefore we can just get a simple majority.
Exactly. And there is the argument that we should have went that direction, and the votes may show that was, in retrospect, okay. But leaving the tax issue out there only brings it out there again next year, or literally the way Discus has been asking for this is like literally finding the last possible moment on the last possible bill and writing something that's completely egregious so that we all show up for a meeting and complain about it. And they all try to get us to broker, but like Discus has nothing to offer the craft brewers of Arizona. There's no reason for us to go neutral on a bill like that. This is the only thing that, okay, we're taking an adversary off the board, and we're fixing a problem that we don't have to deal with now, at least next year or the year after, presumably. So that is something that we get out of that.
So this is going to be enforced through DLLC and come into Title IV?
Yes.
And will there be a new hemp producer's license created?
There'll be something like along the lines of a growler stamp, if you're familiar with that. You would just file and say, I'm interested in this. My understanding, it's going to be zero cost, but there might be a $25 cost to filing your paperwork. The liquor department can't work off a profit. All the money goes to the general fund. That is a sticking point with the liquor department. They are saying that there's not enough money for enforcement. There is $1 million devoted towards this to their department. So I don't know. That should have assuaged them, but I'm hearing differently back channel wise, and that's not cool. I was in the meetings where we proposed this, and they were all there. They voiced their concerns. They wouldn't give us a number. Maybe they gave Barkley a number. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. But a number's there.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the update, and we'll see that. I don't know when our minimum bill gets over to the Senate. I would presume by next week.
I looked at the AZ lag and it said it was transmitted, but
yeah,
when does it get an actual hearing? That's a whole different story.
Right. It'll show up on the first and second read calendar so that it's actually introduced in the body. They don't have to do anything with it. They generally don't. And then it'll get a committee assignment, and then you'll know we're on track. There are mechanisms for either the Senate president or the Speaker of the House to put it in his drawer and forget about it, and you have to then appeal directly to. And so, like, sometimes they'll hide a bill like that if they don't like it. It's happened to us many years ago, and it took a lot of cooperation and a lot of people with torches to get that moved. And that is your friend Andy Biggs was the one that held it for trumped up constitutional issues. Let's say that. The state is not afraid of lawsuits. We know that.
Right.
When it comes to their dogma, and
yes.
Certain parties will say, "Oh, we don't care about the federal government suing us. We don't care about other states suing us. This is the right thing." So anyway,
yeah.
So if Andy Biggs is governor someday, let his research team find this podcast. I always thank him, but I don't really think he helped us.
He is my representative to the House of
I
Representatives.
bet you go to all of his town
States
halls.
America. I get his.
I bet you go to all of his town halls that don't ever happen.
I get his newsletter. It's called The Biggs Idea.
Of course it is. So beer week.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention this year there was no ABV dinner in Flagstaff. I understand that they tried to go and have it at the Elks Lodge kind of late in the process, and now they're scrambling to reschedule it. I don't know if it's going to happen. So there is that.
So your usual trip to Flagstaff wouldn't have been necessary anyways.
Well, I was going to be faced with the dilemma as to whether to go to that, or which I ultimately would have chosen anyway, is to attend the Ash 30th anniversary beer dinner. There was no program, just a few announcements about the dishes. We managed to capture a picture of all the Ash presidents that were in attendance. It was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Jerry Gant was there.
Right.
My friend Andrew Bauman didn't make it with his lovely wife.
Yes, yes. Last time we spoke was the day before the Brewers Roundtable. Yeah. And I got sick, really sick on Thursday, and so I was out. I think I slept over 18 hours that day.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, Bonnie had a fever.
Yeah.
So we were self-quarantining for Saturday and Sunday. We felt better Monday, then we woke up feeling like crap on Tuesday, so we went to the doctor and got some antibiotics, and now we're good.
Yeah.
It was just upper respiratory crap.
Huh. Well,
So I missed out on the end of Beer Week. After the last podcast I was on,
right.
that was the end.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
That was the evening that we went to the women's arm wrestling,
Right.
which it was crowded. So
That was a party.
there were a lot of yelling.
That was
If there
huge
was
party.
any kind of transmittable thing,
Oh, yeah.
you got a lot of open mouths, yelling, having a good time. Like there's no doubt about that.
Packed
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
This is the towelette or bar towel that
Oh, it's so nice.
everyone got with their dinner. They have plenty. You should get one.
I let Keith know early in the day that I wasn't going to be able to make it, and invited him to please and invite someone who couldn't.
Right.
It sold out, so they had a waiting list. Just give them my tickets. But,
Yeah, I tried to get Justin from the Brewing Network. He's in town
right
through the month.
That would have been perfect.
But I don't know where he's staying, but
He's staying in his RV.
yeah, I know, but I don't. Could be in all four corners of the.
Yeah.
He was not able to make it, but he said he would be on our podcast. Texted me back, so we have to figure that out.
Cool.
I don't know when we can do that, but we have to do it before the end of the month. Also, our good friend John Hall.
He's going to be in town?
He's going to be in Tucson.
Oh, my.
For a week.
Wow.
Starting around St. Patrick's Day, the 15th, I think. Something like that weekend or something like that. I have the dates. We have to make some recommendations. I have some top of mind, but he's staying at the La Paloma, which we had the governor's conference at.
Right.
And
Cool.
I said, it's kind of out there in terms of what most people in the beer world would go to, but we can schedule some stuff for him if he wants.
Yeah. Awesome.
I don't think he's brought the recording equipment, but maybe we can catch him. We'll see.
You have yours.
Yeah, maybe.
They work
A
similarly.
mobile van. Yeah. So we should also talk about why we're here for the second consecutive show. Well, no, I did a show in between. We can talk about that later.
Oh, why we're at your house recording. Yes, because we are moving out of the office.
Yeah.
We have been in the office for 7 years. Is that right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Financially, we just can't do it anymore. That's what it comes down to.
Pretty much.
Between rent, which is very reasonable, and internet service, which is very unreasonable, it comes to about $1,200 a month. And other miscellaneous expenses comes to about $1,200 a month that we can save the organization by not having an office.
Right.
Which isn't. It makes me a little bit sad.
Oh, it makes me really sad because I was the one that insisted that we have an office.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit sad. I don't think it's really going to drastically affect what we do, but it is. There's no home base anymore.
Right.
There's just nowhere to have a home base.
Right. And what people may not understand is it's largely a lot of storage too. We store a lot of our festival equipment, and for a while we actually had you could come in and buy stuff. We had merch, but that was driven by ticket sales. But as events are harder and harder, people are buying them online and not coming to visit, and it was difficult to schedule hours, especially this time of year. And we've slowed down on merchandise because the margins aren't there anymore because, people are interested in looking at it, but they just don't want to make the purchase. Or they, in the experiences that we have at festivals, they want to buy it and they don't want to buy it and carry it around, and then they forget. And or they're on the other side of the festival when it's time to leave. And so, yeah, it just doesn't.
Our sales at Arizona Strong of the official shirt were pretty good, but saying pretty good means we sold 50.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right.
It's better than 40.
Right.
But it doesn't make us any money.
Right. And it's a small base. And so like 50 is like 1% of maybe anyone who possibly could have bought it. So like 2% would be amazing, like it, but we would need a whole lot more to push that. And I thought the design was great.
Yeah.
It was a retro kind of look. I wear the hat, I wear the shirt all the time now, but so the good news is, all this fits in a suitcase, and you might see us out and about. We're going to have to get better at planning, or I'm going to have to get better. It's just difficult this time of year. So like last week, knowing that Andrew was out, I just tried to do a solo podcast. It was shorter. It was, I think, marginally interesting. I mean, there wasn't a lot of content. It was more like, this is what I have to do every time I go down there. So if you're listening to the program, there wasn't a lot of extra new information other than a little bit more about the process and having to be there for like 12 hours sometimes. And, why? You can't really change the process too much. I mean, it's not like you can get to the vote and see the votes going sideways and yell from the gallery, wait a minute, I forgot about this, or, pull out all the stops.
You told me you were going to vote. No.
Yeah, yeah, you lied. I saw you get an envelope earlier in the day. No, but you can. They see you, and sometimes they will text you questions, or they will say, we're still in, or whatever, or they occasionally can walk out and talk to you, or, obviously you can text, but if they know you're there, it's harder for them to ignore your text.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, like I often say that I'm not a superstitious person, but I kind of am on those kinds of things, but you're trying to find the edge, any edge you can, or understanding, the tenor of how the votes go. Like you can learn a lot from that, like how quickly some people vote and some people sit on their vote. There's a lot of body language stuff there. So if you ever had to understand why a bill failed,
transcripts aren't going to be the whole story.
No, and neither is the video,
right?
Necessarily. So I don't know. I just think it's important to be there. So we have that this afternoon. It's not on the first calendar. So I live in Tempe. I can be there in 20 minutes. I like to be closer usually, but I know that this isn't going to happen until 3:00 or 2:30, and I can kind of listen.
And it's every day though. You have to figure out when and where. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you're like, maybe they uploaded all the information at around midnight or something like that. So you're up late trying to discover. So Hemp today, our bill from the House to the Senate, possibly next week. I think the Don Bowles bill, if anyone cares about that, is we'll see. It got on the read calendars. It just has to be assigned to committee, and that is where we will know if this actually will pass.
That's where bills go to die.
If it gets put on a calendar for committee, it will pass.
Oh, great.
If it doesn't, it's because
it'll just sit in that drawer.
It's because it got blocked.
Yep.
So.
Hey, what else is going on in beer in Arizona?
Well, we got hit with some tariffs.
I mean, we already talked about that.
Did we?
Yeah. We had the TV people talk about it, and
yeah, I got to get back to some folks about it. They've been asking. I just want to say that if you believe that these are not a big deal, then you're wrong. You're just wrong. And yes, it's my job. Even if I thought, in the long run, blah blah blah, someone's threw that bullshit at me. This is a way for Americans to be encouraged to enter we've had this aluminum and stainless steel tax. No one is opening up bauxite mines and manufacturing rolled aluminum. There's no negotiations. Everybody who's in that industry, if they're sourcing from Canada or elsewhere, is comfortable with the price increase, and they will just tell everyone to eat shit.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
And so,
if only Canada would stem their fentanyl flow.
right. And everyone's like, oh, it's only 4.5% more. I'm like, well, you're not going to buy it. Like, it is only 4.5%, but you're going to switch to something else. 100%. You're going like, holy crap, is Modelo cost that much now? I might as well buy, I can't buy craft beer because they're getting crushed on malt. You're going to talk, I mean, you're talking like, and things don't go in incremental pricing like that. They're by 50 cents at a time. So, I mean, I know people complain about $8 pints. I've seen $10 already before all this.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're at a hotel for sure, you're going to pay $12 to $15 a beer if you want to buy some sort of craft or premium beer, and you're going to get restaurant tax on that, and you're going to have to tip. So that is
rough.
Yeah, for everybody.
Right.
Even if the brewer makes money on that, which they don't get to decide the pricing at retail. All that puffery markup stuff is, after the brewer just hopes to hell that someone's going to buy it with a modest increase or no increase.
Yep.
The retailer could say, you didn't ask for increase, but I got to make it make sense. So you are getting, this is what we're charging, even though you didn't ask for your extra money to make up for this. So you left money on the table. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're
That's
clear.
how it works. Exactly. Yeah. If you're in distribution, there are windows when you can change your price, and that's the only time you can change your price. You can't just be like, oh, let's see, there's a new tariff. Okay, we need to increase our price to our distributor. It doesn't work like that. You have to eat that price until that window to change opens up, because they can't just change their prices every week to all their retailers.
And if this doesn't even drive it home, everybody travels. A lot of those fares are driven by tax and tariffs, landing fees, all that stuff. And when they go up, airlines take a guess at what people will bite on. And some of the airlines follow through, or they will try to hold for as long as possible. And once that price is set, there's no real going down for a long time.
I heard that domestic airline prices are up 25% over last year right now.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just heard that.
All you normies pay that price. I don't pay that.
Yeah. We have, let's see, openings, closings. I don't see anything new right now. I did stop by Santa. I think we talked about that. Formation still has plywood up over the windows. I don't know if that's like they're just going to leave it there until it's grand opening time and then take it down. That could be part of their play.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly where they stand. 1912 is not closing. They sold their license, and the new owner is going to be running the space. It is another veteran-owned organization, and I'm not sure if they're going to be making beer or if they're just going to have a bar.
Can you use the 7?
I just don't know.
Huh.
So they're not closing, but Alan is out.
Okay. Yeah, I've been out of touch on all that openings and closing things, pretty much. Although where did I go? I had questions about. It didn't look like it looked like the downtown Phoenix Spooky Beachy was not open.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That was as of yesterday afternoon.
Spooky Beachy did sign up for Baja Beer Fest. Thanks for the transition. Baja Beer Fest is coming up April 5th, so I have posters. I have posters now. Coasters are being made, and I'm going to be down there next week to fling them across all of Metro Tucson.
You know I am rooting for those guys, Spooky Beachy.
Yeah.
They have a new distributor. They have a distributor importer who wants to join the guild, by the way.
Oh, cool.
So I need to pass that information on to you. I really think I think they still have a bright future, and I think if these tariffs hold, they're going to have to look for co-brewing space of some sort. I mean, that's how it makes sense to me, and I'm super enthused that they can bring some of what they've learned from their experience to us and their different more European training in brewing, and they run restaurants too. So
Yeah, they're great.
but anyway, Baja, very excited. April 5th.
That's right.
It's amazing. I have that date committed after just hearing it once. Some dates hard, but that one I have locked in. 4 or 5. By the way, did I fill out the CBC BA registration, or did you? Because I haven't done that. I don't think.
I filled out for one.
Oh, I have to do the extra one. Okay, I'll find it. I just all right, I'll do that. But our lodging and our airfare is all taken care of.
So Craft Brewers Conference is in Indianapolis this year. It is April 16th, 20? Yeah. End of April.
End of April, just short of your birthday.
Yeah.
I think it's the week, and your birthday is...
The following week?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Indianapolis. I have no expectations. I hope to be pleasantly surprised.
You know, Ken Wilson was born in Indiana.
Yeah, and he got out before it ruined him.
Craft Brewers Conference is April 28th to May 1st.
Right. So depending on when you fly, though. I don't remember where our flights are. But Baja, yeah, I'm excited about that because I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff going on down there, and I'm hopefully a good attendance day will make us feel good about the rest of the year.
Yeah.
We could use a little boost.
Yeah. It's
if you haven't been down to Tucson and you're not squeamish about staying in an Airbnb, or if you have, they have many wonderful top-rated hotels.
They do. It's true. It's
Very walkable
out of it. Yeah.
Very walkable to it. If we got that kind of signal, and actually we need to reconnect with the Dragoon guys because they were like, we should build in a couple more days. And I haven't talked to Rebecca in so long. From Tap and Bottle.
Tristan has mentioned wanting to have the meeting at Dragoon and do a few guest taps of other breweries at Dragoon and have like a pre-party there.
Nice. Okay.
So that'd be cool.
Yeah. Tucson.
Yeah.
Excited for you.
Here's the thing. We don't have a lot of Tucson breweries that come to Arizona Strong.
Yeah.
We have several, but not a lot. Considering how many they have, how many breweries are in Tucson.
Right.
We just don't get a lot of travel up here.
Right.
So it's really great to have them all in one place doing it.
Right. And some of it stems from, the fact that they don't, if we tell them, hey, make good choices about distribution and, setting your range and owning your backyard.
Right.
It's if we insisted that some Tucson breweries be down at Strong Beer, that would be a mixed message. And we don't do that. I think there's a perception that we do. I think just by asking, they think that we're pressuring them. We just want people to take advantage of it and not miss the deadline, or honestly have an opportunity to experience the camaraderie of their peers. That's really what I feel. But there is a desire to have Tucson have its own thing. And so if that is the motivation of those breweries, then they need to really make that a big thing. Because that can be, that experience can draw people from other parts of the state. If they want that, it could be more of a statement piece. It's like the second biggest festival in the state at one point before there was a guild or that ran festivals was the Great Tucson Beer Fest.
Right.
In terms of population. And like everybody hated it because they didn't have the sensibility of the brewers. And I mean, that's what we have. So like rally cry, man. Like
our usually now I've been to 4 of them, all of which I put on. I did not I had not attended it before I came on full time with the guild. So in my experience, it's a bunch of 10 by 10 booths and not many activations other than that. So 1055 did a super cool activation a couple years.
Yeah.
But I did reach out to some breweries specifically this year and said, hey, can you do something more than a 10 by 10? Can you bring some party to the party?
Right.
And they are pretty excited to get their creative minds going on that. So that's fun.
Good. Like I said, it can be what they want it to be, and it can be a much more significant piece of the culture that we are a part of and trying to build upon. And it can be a bigger piece financially for this organization. And hopefully that translates to more business there. We can, if that festival gets bigger, we can justify having it in a maybe more, I think it's in an ideal location for what it is, but like there's no motivation to change it until we get the signal that things are going to happen.
Right.
There's always difficulty getting good weekends down there. Those things get easier if you have the gas to say, hey, we improved by X amount. We're expecting this kind of crowd. So there's a lot. I do know there are people who, since we brought Real Wild and Witty to Flagstaff, there are people who prefer that experience over any other one. And so that's what I hope. I know that people in Tucson might feel that way too. So
yeah. It's a great festival. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's so different, especially, I think the actual park itself makes it kind of more special because it's got all the trees, it's got the nice grass, everyone's chill. A lot of people walk there.
Yeah.
It's different from our other events for sure.
You can walk to downtown Tucson, which, admittedly it's not what it used to be, but you could stay at the Congress and walk. You can walk from Barrio and the couple breweries over there. You certainly can walk from Pueblo Vita. It's like literally across the street.
Right.
There's interesting, great nightlife there. I'm excited for John Hall to have an actual Sonoran hot dog because I was brought on a Super Bowl show to talk about what dishes people should have if they wanted to celebrate the location. And it was the Eagles and I don't know what else they played. What people should have. And so that was my contribution. It's not really a Phoenix thing, but if we're talking about Arizona,
Sonoran
hot dog. So, there's if nothing critical gets scheduled on next Tuesday, I will be in Chicago for 18 hours. There is a hemp brew out. Can you call it a brew out? How do you hemp mixing?
Yeah. You take the water, you put it in, you add the hemp THC extract, and then you add flavor.
Yeah, but there's
cool.
They're doing best practices.
Oh, cool.
And this is Ray.
Love it.
From the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild.
Yeah.
He mentioned in a call, and I pretty much invited myself. But also the folks that are on the hemp beverage Slack, who are advocates, and some of them are suppliers of the necessary accoutrement
yes.
of hemp beverage. So they were like, okay, cool. Because they've come out here to support our bill. And so, I don't know.
Great.
I hope I can pull that off. But, the legislative schedule is very fickle.
I have a meeting in Tucson on Tuesday. I can't go. Sorry. I have a walkthrough with the parks and fire and everybody.
You'd have to start driving now.
That would be a lot.
Yeah. So that might happen. I think that's all I have on my horizon right now.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this up.
Sure thing.
Yeah. I'm going to get back to packing up stuff and moving it out of the office.
Yeah.
I got a busy day of moving today.
All right. I'll just put it all in storage. So
yeah,
whatever. And I do need to talk to Ash. Anyway.
Okay.
This is not a beer podcast.
Hey, thanks for listening.
This is AI Rob with late breaking news. Our hemp beverage regulation bill, SB 1556, passed the Senate 23-6 with one not voting. Now on to the House. This is not a beer podcast.
Hey, thanks for listening.
It's a podcast about beer and also THC and also living in Arizona.
And sometimes the water fights you.
Yeah. Cheers.